I was actually running a program at a different school for about 6 years. And, you know, there was always a sense of dissatisfaction. I loved working at this other place that I used to work with, but I always felt a sense of dissatisfaction. I always felt like things could be done better, or I had a different vision for it. And I felt that I needed to do something. I felt like whenever I worked for somebody or worked somewhere else, there was always some kind of missing component that I felt was not part of their program. And it's either concentrated on one aspect of the dance training, but there wasn't a sense of versatility and well-roundedness in it. It was about just, okay, I'm just gonna take your money and pretend that I'm teaching your kid. And I felt like, no, you know, if you're gonna teach them this, you have to come from the art form, not from just the commercial. And like, it's just a business. This school is a reflection of everything that I have experienced in my professional career. And also I feel like I want to take those aspects that I felt were missing in my own professional and training experience and try to better that. And that is influenced how I have developed the philosophy and the curriculum of the school. In a way, it's kind of new, you know, it's new, Nuevo. Nuevo is new in Spanish. It's a new way of training dancers. Well, the intention was to create a school where I really believe in combining the training methods for the concert world and the commercial world. The school itself, the philosophy, it's conservatory based, and we are all about teaching the art of dance, not necessarily from a competitive manner, but teaching the art and the technique of dance so that the students really have an appreciation of what dance is. The main focus is that I want to train the dancer that is of the now. Our curriculum is based on, you know, the kids have to take ballet a minimum of 3 times a week, and they have to take electives. They take lyrical, jazz, contemporary, hip-hop, modern technique, and then they take master classes also, bringing a teacher to teach different styles, so that they have every single possible avenue for them.
Being here compared to her other dance studios, here she's getting the more well-rounded. It's not just about the ballet. In the past, it was only when we had Francisco's class that I really felt like she was really getting what she needed. Here, I know that she's getting it in every single class.
The more you expose, I think, to different styles, the more you're giving the student and the dancer and the child an opportunity to really find who they are. If you're only limited in one scope or one genre, how do they know that they can be the best they can be? The beauty about this school is that you're able to develop many different sides of the dancer, not only their technique, but their artistry. And with all these different styles, they're able to find who they are. And not only that, really give them opportunity to have this wide range of movement vocabulary to work with, to eventually have them inspired to where they can create the movement themselves.
This is more like company oriented, so it's more like a team compared to just a studio.
They have a curriculum, they have a philosophy, they do their best to train every single dancer to make them better, because in studios it's so huge that every dancer is just another pair of legs.
Here, they're more so about giving you confidence and giving you positive feedback rather than negative.
Everything's very direct, specific. If you're doing something wrong, they'll tell you exactly what you need to fix, and it fixes itself most of the time.
I like how our studio's not all about competition, and how we get to like go and have other experiences at like fashion shows and fun stuff like that.
Competition studios sometimes, they focus more on the pizzazz and the showmanship, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they often forego the importance of technical training. And what ends up happening is that rather than really doing the work and doing this sort of strict work ethic to where you can get your body to do these amazing things and do them technically correct and artistically correct, they figure out ways to not concentrate on that, figure out ways to maneuver around the technical training so that they'll show their strong points and then they'll hide their weaknesses. Where here, you know, we want to take their weaknesses and we want to make them just as good as their strong points so that they can get a well-rounded training. You know, the training that we do here has been derived by methods that have been approved and have been proven for many, many years now. I always believe that the school is only going to be good as my faculty. So if I want the school to be incredibly impeccable and at a high level, my faculty has to be an extremely high level, and they need to understand where I'm coming from.
I met with Francisco from a friend, and just meeting with him, he really seemed really headstrong about his school, and he put it in a different way than all the other studios. Here at Nuevo, they're trying really hard to get better at what they do. At the same time, it's also getting out in the industry world, performing, and looking for auditions.
There's nothing really out there like it. We are gearing the kids towards a professional career, more so than trophies. We're trying to prepare them to be able to dance in companies or in shows, making them marketable in ways that they can go audition for, you know, a Broadway show, or they can go audition for a ballet company, or, you know, just giving them a well-rounded dance background is a lot more beneficial than just being able to do the tricks or just put on the flashy costumes and say that you know, I do dance. It doesn't mean much unless you have a real understanding and like a respect for it, which I think we instill in the kids.
If you haven't done it yourself, how can you teach? If you haven't experienced it yourself, how can you teach that particular, how can you become a well-rounded instructor? You know, so it's important for me that they've gone out there, found themselves who they are, and I want them to take their experience and share it with the students. I always tell my kids and always tell my students, be a person of integrity and character first, and then just second. Because if you choose and you exercise those kinds of principles in the way you train here, you can take that discipline and work ethic anywhere, and then you can be successful at anything that you do.
Here it's a dance training, it's a dance education that he is you know, teaching the kids, and it's not just about dance. He teaches them how to act as young adults and to be professional, and he teaches them a lot more than just dance.
He does above and beyond in giving the opportunities to the kids to train to be more of a wholesome dancer and really prepare them to be much more productive member of the society later on.
Besides just having the training, you know, they are having to learn how to really be patient with themselves. Everybody goes through their personal journey. Everybody has a different personality, but they work through these challenges so that they can overcome these obstacles. And once they've accomplished that goal, there's a sense of satisfaction there, because it's not just you're cheating or you're looking at somebody else to get it. You actually have to go through the work to be able to hit these positions or to be able to have these death-defying physical feats. And I think it's important to have that in life, to be able to fight for something and to be disciplined enough to work at something to where you can get the end result. And the end result is not just something that's average, it's above and beyond. You know, I always tell the kids, when you do something, give it full value. Give it your all, you know? Do what you can to make it so that you're truly fighting and you're truly going through the process of evolving, not only to become a better dancer, but all of these obstacles is going to make you a better person later in life, regardless of what endeavor it is that you try to pursue.